ring. I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Masvidal.
That they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Jermell Charlo breaks down why he believes Canelo will defeat Terence Crawford. He explains that the deciding factor will be how long Crawford can endure the heavy punches coming his way. Charlo notes that Crawford is already moving up weight classes to face Canelo, which makes the task even harder. According to him, the fight depends on how well Crawford handles Canelo's power and constant pressure over 12 rounds. Analysts point out that Crawford couldn't seriously hurt Madrimov, a fighter nowhere near Canelo's level. While Crawford proved his skill against Errol Spence, this is a completely different test. Canelo is a seasoned champion who has been more active in recent years and, being younger, poses an even tougher challenge for Bud.
10-0. They never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. They never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt Masvidal. Canelo Alvarez is no Errol Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Errol the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, that he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline, on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Errol Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kelbrook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats, and not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all like try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican, just because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
Kell Brook explains why he favors Canelo Alvarez in a showdown with Terence Crawford, stressing that Canelo is a completely different caliber of opponent than anyone Crawford has ever faced. Brook highlights that while Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence was impressive, it does not prepare him for the style and ability Canelo brings. Canelo's strength, vast experience, and proven success across higher weight classes separate him from Spence and other names on Crawford's resume. Brook believes Crawford has yet to face a fighter with Canelo's mix of power, skill set, and ring IQ, which makes this matchup one of the toughest of his entire career.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's going to have to, move up, and, I knew when I bought Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe outmoving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Analysts emphasize that Terence Crawford may simply be too small to damage Canelo Alvarez effectively, since he is jumping nearly 3 weight classes with limited time at 154. They compare it to Floyd Mayweather, who fought several elite opponents before facing Canelo, while Crawford has only competed with Madrimov at that level. Gabriel Rosado adds that when boxers are used to opponents who hit with true heavyweight force at higher divisions, the shots from smaller fighters don't carry the same effect. This raises doubts about how Crawford will cope with Canelo's size, strength, and punching power.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting and they make more sense. Like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over, to be 100% honest. There's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small. And he even gave his own personal experience. He said, I'm 180, 190 solid. And when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple, right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Analysts continue to stress one of the most crucial factors in a potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez: whether Crawford can handle Canelo's power. The question is if Crawford can absorb the type of force that has broken down so many of Canelo's past opponents. While some critics argue Canelo appears flat-footed, experts explain this is misleading. His style is calculated, built on balance, timing, and efficiency. By planting his feet, Canelo maximizes the impact of every shot. This presents Crawford with the ultimate test. His defense, speed, and movement might help him evade punches for stretches. But Canelo's patience ensures that openings eventually appear. Once they do, the fight comes down to whether Crawford can stay calm under relentless power. Many believe the difference won't be in punch counts, but in whether Crawford's chin and body can survive the punishment over 12 rounds.
Crawford gonna be able to take Canelo's punches, and is Canelo gonna be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's like, the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost got a one-way of style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it, and that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands, and he's perfected that rolling with the punch thing.
Crawford's night against Errol Spence is remembered as one of the most dominant performances in modern boxing. He displayed every weapon in his arsenal: speed, accuracy, timing, defense, and finishing instinct. Crawford dismantled a fighter once considered one of the world's best welterweights and did so with ease. That performance cemented his legacy as one of this generation's elite fighters. Now, his training partners insist he looks even sharper than he did before the Spence bout. They claim his speed is still intact, his reflexes remain razor sharp, and his conditioning is at an all-time high. Despite being older, Crawford has refined his approach and sharpened his focus. Those who have seen him train say he is in peak form, perhaps the best of his career. That level of confidence and preparation could be the edge he needs against a dangerous opponent like Canelo.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm gonna be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days, I'm not a historian, but as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence, dangerous southpaw at the time. I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik has outlined the strategy Crawford must use if he hopes to defeat Canelo. Pavlik stresses the importance of the early rounds. Crawford cannot allow Canelo to dictate the pace. Instead, he must rely on his footwork, combinations, and ring IQ to force Canelo into expending more energy than usual. The idea is simple: make Canelo throw more punches, move his feet, and chase the action. History has shown that Canelo can slow down in the later stages of grueling fights, and Pavlik believes that is where Crawford's chance lies. By applying smart pressure early and keeping Canelo working, Crawford could drain the champion's gas tank, limit his late-round explosiveness, and potentially outpoint him or even secure a late stoppage.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he could really step it up.
Dan Rafael made a key observation when comparing the backgrounds of both fighters. He pointed out that Canelo has already faced and absorbed punches from opponents who moved up from lighter divisions. Names like Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto stand out, naturally smaller fighters who challenged him at higher weights. Not only did Canelo fight them, but he also adjusted to their speed and timing, proving he could handle shots from smaller men. On the other hand, Crawford has yet to face a naturally bigger fighter with the kind of physicality Canelo brings. While Crawford has dominated across multiple divisions, stepping in against someone who thrives at higher weights is a new challenge altogether. Raphael's argument highlights that Canelo's depth of experience against every type of opponent may give him a major advantage over Crawford, who has never been tested by that level of size and power.
Dan Raphael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes. Because he said, if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said, people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package. It's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. And it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade.
Basically.
He's so used to taking those shots. Whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically he's trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergei Kovalev, Dimitri Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled.
Not even getting wobbled, just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Mikey Garcia has been blunt with his outlook on this matchup. He believes Canelo has the ability to seriously hurt Terence Crawford. In Garcia's view, while Crawford is highly skilled, his defense might not be enough to withstand the raw power Canelo delivers. Garcia specifically emphasized Canelo's body attack, his trademark hooks to the ribs and punishing uppercuts to the midsection, as one of the most dangerous aspects of his arsenal. According to him, Crawford is a brilliant technician, but even brilliance has its limits when dealing with a bigger, stronger fighter. Garcia warns that once Canelo lands with authority, the momentum of the fight could swing in an instant. His prediction echoes the concern shared by many analysts that the gap in size and power may simply be too great for Crawford to overcome.
What happens when he takes a shot from Canelo? One of those uppercuts from Munguia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? It could be life-changing?
Good, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure, give him all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio, however, offered a more hopeful perspective on Crawford's chances, focusing on his mental preparation. He explained that Crawford is well known for visualizing his fights long before stepping into the ring, which allows him to anticipate challenges and plan responses in advance. Antonio stressed that Crawford's greatest weapon is his adaptability and intelligence. Unlike many fighters, he has never relied solely on physical traits, but instead has built his success on adjusting to opponents, breaking them down, and imposing his own rhythm. From Antonio's standpoint, this fight will not be decided by weight classes, but by skill sets. If Crawford sticks to his strategy and executes with precision, his versatility and ring IQ could help neutralize Canelo's physical advantages and keep the contest competitive.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
That wraps up today's video. Don't forget to stay tuned for more updates and breakdowns as the build-up to this massive fight continues.